The Past season 2 is here. My friend is tipsy.
I'm not in bed.
He might tip over in the middle of this podcast.
Why you playing? See?
So before we get started, okay, all right. First and foremost, let me go ahead and do the disclaimer now. There will be a lot of curse words, not by me because I'm not playing the video game. But
Go ahead and tell them what I'm playing.
You tell them what you playing. You playing the game.
Fine. I mean, you could be a little more descriptive than that, though. We playing Splatoon 2 right now.
He's playing Splatoon 2, and I'm just here recording because I'm fucked up. So to continue the disclaimer, first and foremost, you will hear a couple of profane words here and there because...
And I do apologize in advance.
I'm not apologizing because this is my podcast. I can do what the fuck I want.
Oh, God damn it.
Yep. He said as he apologizes and throws a shot in there. We're gonna so my boy Wayne here with me. He was off today. Happy MLK Day to everyone. Rah rah sis boo bah.
Martin Luther King, just like Jesus of Nazareth.
Okay, wait. I was the one supposed to do white noise. That was a serious moment because that is. If y'all haven't heard BJ Snowden, you might want to check it out. But anywho, happy MLK. Inappropriateness, randomness. I like how he's trying to silently curse just now. Alright, so I told him we won't go really plan to do this because at first I ain't had nothing set up because I was just going to wait to do my official launch of season 2 tomorrow. But since he's over here, oh Lord, please pray for us as he finishes the rest of this. So, first and foremost, tonight is Sangria night. Second of all, we do want the table to be in one piece when my roommate gets here. So yeah, that was whoever heard. If any of y'all heard that thump on the table, I apologize. He didn't realize that the table was glass, but glass on glass don't work. So tonight's podcast is sponsored by Yellowtail Sangria Blanco and Madria Sangria. Holla if you hear me. So that being said. We're going to get right into the random podcast as he tries. Wait, did you drop the nunchuck like you was mad? Alright, I'm giving disclaimers because I need to let everybody understand. I am dealing with a wine noob who doesn't understand.
Whoa. What you not going to do?
What I'm going to continue to do.
A wine noob.
He took the bottle and literally destroyed half of it in not even, 30 minutes?
And I'm fine.
2 naps later.
Nay, 1 nap.
Okay, one in a possible.
Look, what is this, Deuces? Spaghetti?
That's right, Deuces joke is wild. So we're doing the show, and it's kind of gonna be like a for and against, pros and cons, and introduction to new shit. Cause it did happen, and as y'all know, Mia gonna be here to make her cameo appearance because she feel left out. So we both got our unique tastes on gaming. First and foremost, as he mentioned, he's playing Splatoon, which is Nintendo Switch based, and I've seen it played a couple times. It got got off the ground, did pretty good. This might be a very awkward way of saying it. I'm the Xbox whore, but I'm about to convert soon to PlayStation.
He's been delivered, y'all.
I've been delivered, but I haven't officially made the conversion yet. It's still under construction. But that being said, I decided that since I got him here and since we've been talking about doing this show for a year?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I think I had the old mic when I was talking about this.
You definitely had the old mic. We was all at Magfest trying to figure this out.
But we were going to do the discussion about PC and console gaming because he is a huge PC gamer, and I've just kind of literally, alright, well, another disclaimer. There will be a lot of inappropriate statements that are going to be made. There might be some borderline references addressed. If you just hear it and you hear borderline being referred to, just let it happen and continue with the show. That being said, he's a heavy PC specialist. He just kind of got my feet wet with borderline. He got my feet wet with League of Legends. So I was playing League of Legends a little bit. My roommate and my twin, y'all have heard her on Twin Talk. We've sat and kind of tempted and delved a little bit with League of Legends, but now we're kind of turning into like League addicts. So PC kind of gets that little slight love, and it's kind of ironic to play PC games on a Mac, especially when you got a Mac that can run and handle it. Of course, Wayne is sheer Windows down to bodying and jacking my glom tom, but that's another story.
You never believe it, baby.
Okay. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm the console guy. Between PlayStation, between Xbox, I mess with a little bit of Nintendo here and there. Actually, this past weekend we went to a gaming event that was pretty dope. There was a lot of retroness in the building and nostalgic moments. But I'm gonna start off a little different because normally it's like, all right, I'm just gonna pass over the information and talk about things. The first thing I'll ask you was, what was the first PC game that you got into? If you had to think back.
The first PC game I ever played was actually Guild Wars Factions.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to tell the fans, because some of them, including me, are like rookies, to kind of a brief overview of what it entails as I'm pouring wine in my imaginary cup.
I'm trying to remember the story. I know Guild Wars Factions they were trying to stop this guy. I think his name was Shiro. He was trying to corrupt this place, and they had to build factions in order to stop him.
Okay.
Now, I know somebody who knows the story is going to come on and correct me about this, but
yeah,
I know that's the general gist of the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the more general MMOs. You pick your class, you develop your skills, you collect equipment, and then one thing that was actually kind of unique is you would go out into the map and you get your own instant of the map, and the map would have your regular monsters, but then it would have other NPCs that were the main jobs.
Okay.
And if you killed them, there was a way to extract skills from them, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
So.
All right. So that was the starter. What is, besides League, what is your like true repeat offense game that you would say that you play a lot?
Definitely Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
It's been a fantastic game, probably the best MMO I've ever played.
Okay.
And yes, I'm calling you out WoW. I couldn't get into WoW at all. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy 14 felt like breathing and walking.
Okay. So that now kind of ties into a question and a discussion we had a while back. Sorry, y'all gonna hear me kind of be technical because I forgot. Wayne is like sitting in another side of the town, so I got to turn up some shit. Nope, you good. We can pick you up. We got you covered. Just do what you do. I got you.
All right.
So all right. So to kind of get I guess I'm like asking you all what the fuck you did, and I ain't talking about what the fuck I did. Sips
How
tea.
about you? I know you big on consoles. I like to say I started on consoles now.
Mm-hmm.
I just got the PC when I went to college and finally got just the internet.
Right. Yeah. Because I know that. So that's kind of the biggest factor behind PC and console. That's usually the biggest comparison, because a lot of PC games kind of require you to have the internet, especially with Steam. A lot of it being Steam powered and just kind of that overall flow and feel of gaming. My console background, most people know. I mean, I've always talk about the tattoo anyway. But I was a Nintendo guy. I had not Super Nintendo. I had Nintendo. I had Genesis. From Nintendo, literally Mario 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, M, Zim. Hey, oh, sorry. All right. So if he dies a couple of times, y'all know I'm just gonna keep it moving. But I really played most of Mario's. I was a double dribble head. Bulls versus Blazers, Lakers versus all that shit. Went into the Genesis realm. In Genesis was like the Bulls versus Blazers, NBA Live, NBA Jam, Sonic. Sonic. I did the Sonic 1, 2, and 3 on that too. Then it kind of turned into like the PlayStation. I was a PlayStation lover, like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. I decided to kind of switch it up a little bit, jump over to Xbox. Didn't get the first Xbox, but ended up getting the first Xbox thanks to someone creating an Xbox that no one else that I know has, other than the person who makes them. But I had a 360. Currently got an Xbox One that's on its deathbed. I might be giving that on up to glory. But now having to give all these references to these people, I feel so bad.
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen and pray to Yahweh. So now it's kind of just like gaming is kind of like that natural instinct of if I'm into it and it's something that I want to try out, I'll give it a shot. Steam is becoming more diverse with PC gaming. I will give them that much because there has been like that distinction of, oh, you can play this game on Windows and you can play this game on Windows and Mac. So I've been able to kind of delve into it a little bit. Of course, League, luckily, is cross-platform. Sometimes you just go through, as I call it, the patch fails from hell. That's probably the best way to call it because you'll get a patch that you're trying to download. The patch may say it downloaded fine, but it really didn't. So we go through. I've gone through those stages. One thing that we both had a huge discussion on last time, and I think this is why I'm kind of bringing this up now. So this will trigger like a good conversation because we talked about this, and it's a conflict on both console and PC with microtransactions.
Oh yeah.
I know there was like, it's like a gift and a curse in a sense. Like, because I know, like, for instance, some of the games that you play, like, even with us playing League, there are some things that you can buy that you can use your runes, and you can work them, grind and do that. But then there's some stuff that you have to use, like, their personal, like, transactions to buy so much of it. It's almost, this is probably the worst analogy, but it's going to be what works for this case. Okay. Candy Crush, any games that had like any of those little games that you play on your phone that require you to like download, hey, you want to buy more gold bars. In order for you to play past these 5 lives that you have, pay us $30. We'll give you so many gold bars, so many this, so many that, so many this. And it's like, well, why should I be limited to playing 5 times when I should be able to play as much as I want?
But you bring up a good point. I like the point. Let's take Candy Crush and LOL. It's like the worst comparison, like you say. But just like you said, with microtransactions, is going to tie all into the story. We'll get our point across.
Yeah.
So Candy Crush, you run out of hearts, you got to buy more hearts. You got to use real money to buy it and stuff like that.
Right.
And you also buy items to use in the course to try to get through the course easier. Now that is an example of a game that's making you pay to play.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And LOL does it so much differently.
Right.
The only thing you spend your money on is cosmetics. Now that's if you want to have your hero, your specific hero, look a certain way, and that's all it does. Like if you continue to play the game, you can use your blue essences to unlock every hero.
Right.
And you will get to that point just by putting the time in.
By grinding, yeah.
There's no money involved except for your data, which that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But see, that's the difference between the microtransactions that are good and microtransactions that are acceptable, in my opinion.
Now consoles kind of screw it up a little bit because, and it's not, well, for the games that I'm about to name, they're cross-platform, but it's more console-based than it is PC-based. You think of NBA 2K, Grand Theft Auto 5, Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5. All 5 of those games, now, with the exception of Tekken 7, because on Tekken 7, you can kind of fight through different matches and earn, like, coins in the game that you can use towards getting, like, outfits or getting backgrounds and all that type of shit. NBA 2K, crazy story, because it's literally, I always think about it every time.
Yeah, you gotta fill me in.
It's real cut and dry.
Okay.
When the game comes out, so let's say it was October 20 something, or it was early October. Game comes out, it drops. Some people buy it. They'll, like, when they sell you the game in store, they'll say, hey, we think you might want to get this VC, which is like virtual currency. No, it's not Bitcoin. Get this virtual currency to use in the game to buy, like, to build your player up. So as you're buying these coins, you're putting this money, you're taking real money to buy money to put into a game to use on a character that you only have for like a year. Because next year 2K19 comes out, or this year 2K19 comes out. So You look at a game like that. Of course, GTA. Shark cards was the thing where you would buy so much of it and it would go into like the transactions and things of that sort. I talked about it a little bit with Tekken. Street Fighter is a similar case. Like there's so many characters. Like somebody, I think my twin asked me, and I think I've even thought about it. Like how many games do you have to play in Street Fighter to like unlock like for Gao to get like that random anonymous outfit that you would never see him fight in real, you know, in a normal match. Right. So some of his beneficial transactions, a lot of it is that currency based, or it's like for cosmetic purposes. It's not like you have to have it, but then it's also the spin off of, okay, you bought if you bought Street Fighter 2 years ago, when it first came out, you only had like just the basic core characters that were in the game. But then as new seasons came out, it's new characters that were like dropped in, like, hey, this is a character. Do you want this character? Are you interested in this character? And in order for you to get those characters, you basically almost have to like put in some money to kind of get those extra characters added on, or do like a season pass. Call of Duty is a perfect example for it. Call of Duty does it to a T like no other. Like they make you pay like what, 50, like you pay $60 for the game. You paying like another $50 for a season pass.
What's the season pass do?
So season pass is basically, all right, now keep in mind this is where PlayStation and Xbox battle. Call of Duty is a PlayStation exclusive game. So that means when we'll say January the 28th, there are going to be some new maps that are coming out. PlayStation get those maps first. You can either buy the maps as a pack, or if you got the season pass, you automatically get those maps added in. So you're paying for those maps as they come out or as they're released. I got my feelings about, and I know so before I continue, because I know it's like, all right, we're giving our thoughts about it, but Wayne gave his opinion. I really didn't give mine. Do I like microtransactions? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Only because it shouldn't take you having to spend like so much money to get like an edge or be ahead of the curve. But some cases it's like at the end of the day, the company, the money that say 2K Sports, Rockstar, Konami, whatever, the money that they're making off of Namco, the money that they're making off of the game is chump change compared to what they get off of those microtransactions. Because the microtransactions is kind of what, like, the pulse and the heartbeat. So
when you think about it, it's kind of the lifeblood of the whole game.
Yeah. So, that being said, I mean, I guess the conversation kind of sways. We both gonna have our sides that we look at when it comes to games, but like, if you truly, all right, I'll ask it like this: if you were put in a position where you had to adjust away from PC gaming and was put in like console state for like, I'll say 8 hours for an 8-hour shift, and it was a game that you found that was comfortable, that you could roll with, no problem, would it be a huge adjustment, or is it a big difference, or you'd be like, I'm good, I can roll, I'll go back to console?
I mean, shoot, I can roll with it. Like I said, I do a little bit of both. It's just PC gaming is, especially MMOs, extremely addictive.
Yeah.
Like, but as far as consoles go, I have a backlog. Like right now, I need to get Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
I need to get Sonic Forces. I need to get
the $20 jump.
You're so crazy.
This is my podcast. You already know that was how I was gonna go down.
Why would you even bring that up?
You be alright.
I guess. No, not that. There was another one where you make your own character.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to look at.
Okay.
And, let me see. Then, like I said, I just got Xenoblade, so I'm working on that. Mm-hmm. But between LOL and 14,
right,
it's busy. And then whenever 14, the thing about Square Enix is they're real smart.
Yeah.
And here's another thing that I really like. Rather than microtransactions, just have a subscription.
Yeah.
Then they already got their lifeblood set up. They don't have to tap your pockets.
Right.
That's keep the game going.
Yeah, the subscriptions I know is like kind of the biggest factor, and I know to add to your point, EA Sports, and I'm not white nosing y'all intentionally. EA Sports is trying to come up with an idea, and I'm hoping EA or 2K can figure this out because it's overdue, why should I make a person pay? I mean, I understand it's a business. You got to make the money a year. But if I'm going to make you pay $60 for a digital copy of a game that really nothing changes but the characters, like what teams players are playing on, most of the graphics are kind of going to be pretty consistent and the same. They may, up it a little bit and make it a little bit more detailed. But now we're at the stage of, all right, to go back to the retro thought. You can't put a patch or update on a cartridge.
No.
You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even with PlayStation 2, I'd even go as far as PlayStation 3. Patches and downloads was kind of coming in, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Like with Xbox and 360, Xbox One, PS4, even with the Switch, like we went through that earlier.
Yep.
You got to go through that phase of, excuse me.
What's with the attitude, young lady?
Mia having a moment. My bad, and I'm not editing out. I don't know what I just said. Anyway, with those companies kind of looking at making that annual, charge for that transaction, you can just say, hey, get a EA subscription and you get that game, and all you basically have to, the game's already there. You just got to throw whatever update in and you can just keep it moving without having to say, you got folks like, I used to like midnight releases, but midnight releases aren't like they used to be.
No.
And I know you're anti the company we won't talk about, but believe it or not, like, it's a fun interaction with those because you actually can run into other people that's like, oh, you play Gears? Oh, what's your game attack? Let's, link up, stuff like that. So it's usually those pros and cons. That's another reason why I'm kind of slow on not leaving Xbox, by the way. But that being said, I know gaming has like a good past. It's got a decent present. This will kind of be like the random closeout. Where specifically, especially with you doing, and I'm exposing you because I just don't care, as far as with development of games, like where do you see the future of gaming going?
Man,
like I know we got VR.
Making leaps and strides.
That's what I was gonna say. That was what I was actually about to think about because I know VR is kind of like the hot commodity right now.
They're making leaps and strides as far as where I can say where the future's going. It's how do you even top virtual reality? Honestly, first we had augmented reality, which was pretty crazy enough. Now we got the full. You're going into it with your phone. Your visor. You're going in. The only thing I see past that is some Sword Art Online stuff where you're full dive and you're connected to the computer and you're actually experiencing it through your body.
Right. So similar to like motion capture in a sense.
Something like that, yeah. Like where it's actually projecting right into you.
Yeah. No. I couldn't even process it quick enough.
I had to get one out.
And that's fine. My future well, I guess we can look at it, because you answered it on both realms and overall. The future for me is interesting because I feel like the one thing that no one really wants to acknowledge, but it's gonna happen, is I feel like CDs and DVDs are gonna be like non-existent for gaming. But the tough part is then it comes down to how do you handle media on this device, because you're giving someone a console that the limit of the maximum that it can hold is a terabyte, maybe 2. But then, of course, we're making like these big ass hard drives to connect to it to store like hundreds of games. Because after you get down to like about 40 games, and you're like, oh, well, I only got like 36 megabytes. So what game do I get rid of to make space for this game? I feel like the future will likely be more digital based because we're already. I'm saying digital, but I'm also saying it as since it's already kind of hit with music. It's gonna turn into streaming. It'll be to the point where you know what I'm saying? Like you'll literally be to the point where you start streaming games more frequently than you are like, all right. And the only disadvantage to that is the only way that most people will be able to play is they have to have the internet. That's the problem that I kind of feel is like the brick wall. That was what consoles had as the advantage back in the day.
Yeah, good point.
That's what a lot of PC games like when you pop the CD in like Doom and all that, you threw it in. It's like, all right, boom, I'm playing, I'm ready to go, and we good. But then that problem comes in, like Xbox. I love Xbox. I even say this about PlayStation. when you have a game and you turn it on and literally you have to be online at all times. That's unfair to some people because some people don't want to do online. Some people will prefer not to be online.
Some people can't do online. Like,
right.
I can't get physical lines run to my house.
Yeah, exactly.
Use my phone.
Yeah, see when you run it, and then that's like running into that wall of data. Like data is always going to be the biggest factor because not every data service or internet service is going to be available in every area. So I think about all those things come into play too. That was somewhat of my closing, but the official closing is. If there was anything that a non-PC gamer needs to get a general idea of what to expect coming into PC gaming, what tips or tricks would you give them from your experience of gaming? I'm like turning this into a random interview, and it's kind of fun, but
yeah, I don't mind it.
I know.
I'm just trying to think about how to answer this. As far as what, can you elaborate on what I was?
If I'm looking at coming, okay. Brian just started PC. Brian just got a decked out PC. Okay. I got all this shit on it. So even as a techie, I'm gonna be petty for a second. I got all these hard drives and RAMs and ROMs, and I'm working on some shit. And I got this nice big ass BenQ monitor, and I'm ready to start streaming, and I want to start gaming. As a PC gamer, from your experience, even with you not having that type of tech or equipment, and I'm not throwing shade, I'm just saying as a general. What would you say, like what would you give that person as an advice or a suggestion as far as like them coming in the game and say, all right, if you're gonna game, this might be some games to start out with. These are some games that I found to be enjoyable, things of that sort.
Well, as far as the MMOs go, I definitely recommend Final Fantasy 14.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean, it's got a walkthrough, a tutorial. I mean, it's easy to get into the swing of things. It supports controller, so I mean, if you're console and you like to use your PlayStation 4 or Xbox 360 controller,
yeah,
you totally just hook it up to your computer and just use it for that.
Okay.
And other than that, just how online people are, just take it with a grain of salt and a dab of ranch.
Oh.
Buttermilk production.
You know what? Good night.
Shot of buttermilk.
So many
just have fun,
so many side marks. Yeah, that's actually good. That's relevant and key to like getting somebody who's just jumping in, like kind of, as I used the term earlier, getting their feet wet. As a console gamer, and this is gaming as a whole. Find your niche. Find what you like to do. And I say that the way I do strictly because a lot of times what happens is we jump into gaming and we really don't know what we're looking for when we get into games because we're like, oh, I want to play this game, and we play it, and people don't like this stat, but I always talk about this when it comes to gaming, and this will be a long-winded close, but whatever. It's my podcast. Fuck y'all. Y'all know I'm sorry, not sorry. I feel bad. This ain't going on YouTube. I'm gonna pray. But in all seriousness, like if you jump into a show or you jump into like your gaming, don't go in expecting to win offhand. Because a lot of times people go into gaming and it's like, I'm trying to win, I'm trying to be the best, and it's like, no, you're gonna have to hold this L and catch a little bit of bust ass for a little bit. Like me, it was always Street Fighter. It's been a lot of like basketball games, different games that I jumped into. For the first couple of times when I would play it, I get beat down bad, and then I was like, all right, let me go as my boy called it. Let me go into the lab real quick and just kind of hop on, just play and just chill. So that's what I would do. Like I would learn the game, figure it out, get better at it, and then if I played against somebody like me and my friend Mark, we go at it, and I'm mad because I don't have my Xbox to be able to do it, but we would have like FIFA matches that would turn intense because it was literally like, okay, yeah, you good at FIFA, yeah, you've been playing for a minute, but I can give you these hands just one good time. So it's just a matter of like getting
these feet in this case.
And yeah, give you these feet and these goals real quick. That sounds very nasty, but long as they got on shoes. So I mean, the point that I want to make is, if you are interested and you're into gaming, do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because you're trying to like blend in with the trend. Because a lot of people, for whatever reason, everybody think like being a nerd or being a gamer is cool, but it's like low key, that shit is a grind. Like,
Oh, yeah. It's work.
yeah, like if you sit and think about folks who play, like, I'll even go to the random example of folks who play pinball machines. People look at a pinball machine and they're like, yeah, I got like 3 or 4 lives or whatever. But folks who sit there and they're on their first life, their goal is not to die on that first ball, borderline. But even adding on to that, there are certain arcade games, like there are stories that are online for days, like Donkey Kong, Snake. It's different games that people have played where they're like, their goal is to beat this game and finish it. And like literally somehow break the system so that it do some random ass message, and they trying to make like the high score and get like the greatest score of all time and be like in the Guinness Book of World Records. Whereas some people just like, yeah, I just want to participate and hopefully I can like not die too early.
Right.
And that's how you look at it. But in closing, because I know I was supposed to close like a couple minutes ago. Before I close, do you have any closing thoughts that you want to share? As far as...
shot. I feel like I'm gonna just bring it home for you real quick, because I mean, like the way you're saying everything, it's
shoot a why.
The way you're saying everything, it's making sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like simply, just have fun.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's a competitive game like LOL,
yeah,
if you had fun, you won. Don't
Yeah.
get upset over dumb mistakes, or if somebody's real toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Just forget about it then, and you have fun. You go out there and just have fun. Love doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you can't love doing what you're doing, why are you doing it? Huh?
Closing shot. If you don't want to catch them hands, if you know you're going to get angry, put the controller down and walk away. My TV still is recovering from that throw that I had a couple of years ago. We'll say that for another podcast. But anywho, that is the...
We've done to the world. Look what we've done.
So mind you, he was drinking some more wine in the midst of this podcast. But on that note, thank y'all for tuning in. There will be no intro, no outro. This recording will go up tonight. Tomorrow's record. Oh Lord Jesus! Don't let go. Let her.
Okay,
Lord.
okay.
Yeah, that ending. All right, so many questions and concerns. But yeah, as always, keep tuning in. We got more shows in store. The Past signing out. If you want to check out any of the previous episodes, pastpodcast.com. Social media, Past Podcast, everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. Catch y'all later. Peace.